You can have these giant pauses in the music, but that's where the drama is, the pause. Because if the guys don't have that sensibility, oh, the time, oh, where's the time? No. If you have that sensibility, you can have these giant pauses in between, you know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just little examples like that. And so if I took a piece that's not mine, like a Piazzolla thing that was written, beautiful. So Astor was for me, when I met him, it was a major change in my writing and my playing, in the sense that, you know, he had a lot of beautiful melody in his music, but he didn't have a lot of rhythm going on in it, because Argentina, even though it's next to Brazil, is completely different, you know. So he gave me his blessing personally. We became very good friends. And the next record, had he not had his stroke, what it was going to be with me and him. But he did say to me, and he wrote to me, he used to write me letters, and I wrote back. It's the only time I wrote letters at that age. And he goes, "Dear Alberto, I want to hear you do something special with my music. Do something unique, you know." So I got his blessing, because, you know, the diehard tangueros, you know, you can't change anything. It's like the flamenco guys that from the old school gave Paco a very hard time.
Yeah.
Piazzolla, they gave death threats. So he had to leave Argentina and move to Paris, study with Nadia Boulanger, lucky guy. You know, and he wanted to become like a composer, like in the framework of somebody like Bach. And it was Nadia who says, no way. Your soul is tango. Don't you ever lose that in the music. Because of her, we have the, you know, that modern Nuevo tango, which was beautiful.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
Paco had that too. Paco had a lot of swing. You know, he had a lot of rhythm, and he wasn't a completely traditional guy. He liked the, you know. You know, the, oh. You know, it's just, we can go on forever, you know. So he had that, we had that together. When John was soloing in the middle, he was like, phew, he had stereo, totally in sync, you know, counter rhythms, but like in that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was lucky. Yeah. We got along really well. That we understood that kind of playing against the clave language, even though he comes from the flamenco school. I don't. I come from a kind of a Latin, you know, a Latin influence.
I can listen to that all day.
Yeah, and then if you were to do renditions of Bach, like we were discussing before, it just doesn't work. It's corny. And you have to have the instinct, which is experience, time, to know what works and what could be corny. Never should it be corny. Corny is the worst.
Corny is the worst.
It's the worst that you did. Yeah. We don't want to talk about it.
Al, when you're creating these
these pieces or when you're improvising, like I never feel like you have any patterns or anything like that. It just feels so.
Oh,
everything
I have
is
tons of patterns.
Everything seems so
I
spontaneous.
feel like I don't have enough vocabulary.
Oh my God, no.
If we could live 3-4 lifetimes, there was just so much more to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't realize because I'm in the moment, so of course I don't know. You know what it's like when you're improvising. You don't remember what you did, half of it, or most of it.
Your voice of what you're playing here is so unique to you. It's kind of your compositional style, and your linear style and everything doesn't sound like anyone.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Stanley Clark said the same thing. I can never, with Al, I can never figure out who he listened to.
Right.
And he said it a few times, and I started really thinking about that. I said, yeah, you can't pin me to Hendrix or,
No.
and I, one time I sat backstage at the BBC, and George Martin was presenting a Lifetime Achievement Award, which I was like almost in tears. I was like so moved that he even knew who I was, right? And I got to talking with him, and he asked me who I listened to when I grew up. I said, well, the Beatles, George.
Right.
No. He didn't see any of the Beatles in what I do. I said, but man, that the whole generation of us
Right.
loved the Beatles.
Yeah.
And still love the Beatles. What you did was amazing. He was trying to tell me, yeah, they're okay. I mean, what? What? And at one point I was like, George, I wanted to shake him. I said, are you kidding?